I tell you what, Alex Pereira. I was laying in bed this morning thinking about Alex Pereira taking that fight. And I saw a post from Adam Catchell from TNT Sports and the Fight Disciples. And he said, he was talking about Alex Pereira. He's in Australia, or he was in Australia a couple of days ago, doing like a PR tour and just meeting fans and stuff like that, doing appearances and stuff. He broke a toe in UFC 300 against Jamal Hill. Apparently, he's broken another toe somewhere along the way. So he's got 2 broken toes. He's currently in Australia, and he's got, 2 weeks until the fight, and he's going to take on the samurai himself, Jiri Prochazka. And after the schedule he's been on, what he's achieved in such a short space of time, the star power that he has amassed, he's become one of the biggest stars in mixed martial arts. He's a 2-weight division champion, and the schedule has just been unbelievable. Alex Pereira, take a goddamn bow.
And I mean, if you look at his resume, it is just UFC champion after UFC champion. I think he had two of his fights in the UFC have been against people who did not at one point touch gold. So it's like, not only is he on this rigorous pace where he's fighting, every few months and providing these highlight reel knockouts, but he's doing it against the absolute elite in MMA right now.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I mean, when you look at his record and the fact that listen, the narrative is, and it's probably the truth, he was kind of fast-tracked to fight Izzy, right? But he won 3 fights, 3 fights before he got a shot at Izzy, and he beat him in round 5. But he took an immediate rematch. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I'm speaking about the fighter and the strength of schedule and stepping up on short notice, the fact that he went straight away, I'll fight Izzy again. Now, granted, he'd beaten him 3 times, but there was no pontificating. There was no bullshit. There was like, straight away, let's do it. He beat him in November. He fought him again in April in the very, very next fight. And he got knocked out. Moved up to light heavyweight, beat former champ Jan Blachowicz, Jiri Prochazka, and then Jamal Hill. And now he's going right back in again, over Jiri Prochazka. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is why this sport is so amazing. For people like that, for people like Alex Pereira that have that kind of, for want of a better cliched statement, that warrior mentality. He really does. He's like a throwback fighter. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like, and we'll get to Robert Whittaker in a bit. He tweeted yesterday, anyone, anywhere, anytime. And Robert Whittaker's another one. Do you know what I mean? You just got to absolutely have ultimate respect. Do you know what I mean? And 303, it's not Conor McGregor, but it's still a bloody good fight card. And Jiri Prochazka was doing pretty good in that fight. Yeah, he did get dropped, but he was having success. And then, as we know how the finish came. But Jiri, after that fight with Alexander Rakic, I'm very, very excited for that fight. So, unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's guaranteed fireworks, right? It's like, if you need to replace somebody with the star power of Conor McGregor, I need somebody who I think has a very good chance, one way or another, of that fight ending in a first-round knockout. Right? Like, that's what the bloodlust in the fans is real. So to replace it with something where it looks like all action on paper is, that's a pretty sweet ace in the hole to have for the UFC.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Here's one thing I spoke about yesterday. I did a little YouTube video, and I said, and I wondered, I'm just thinking out loud, will McGregor ever fight again? I think that's a fair question, because if he injured it in this camp, there's a potential that happens again. I mean, look at Chris Weidman and the troubles that he's had. He got a good win recently over Bruno Silva, but the leg issues have been kind of consistent ever since that break. Anderson Silva, even though it kind of takes away from my victory over him, he was not the same knockout artist that he was. You know what I mean? And who else is there? There's been a few others over the years. And for McGregor, he's tried to come back after 3 years away. He's got a lot of other stuff going on outside the fight world. Obviously, he just did the Roadhouse movie. I think they're doing a sequel as well now. He's got businesses galore, Lamborghini yachts. The leg just gave way. If it happens again, and that's the thing, he's going to have to be very, very careful. He's going to have to train with recovery in mind, because if it happens again at 35, and it's a quick turnaround, August, it's only around the corner. We're halfway through July now. July 15th, this Saturday, I'll be back in action at the Apex. June 15th, pardon me. Did I say June or July?
You said July, but
I thought I said July, and then I second guessed myself. It's the CTE. Come on, Ariel, I've got CTE. You would have mentioned your 14 trophies. What about the Hall of Fame shit behind me? Again, jokes. Relax, everybody. My God. Yeah, I mean, I hope McGregor comes back. I really do. I really do. And I hope it's a massive fight and may the best man win. And for Michael Chandler, again, I'm repeating myself, but you do feel for the guy. Waiting all this time, finally gets the fight. He's about to fly to bloody Dublin for the press conference. That gets cancelled. Then he's been hanging in limbo, waiting to know if the fight goes ahead. And here we are. But silver lining, August is just around the corner. And it turns out that Yuri Prochazka, when he said that's pretty good speculation, turns out the speculation was absolutely spot on. And no wonder he was smiling. And listen, Yuri Prochazka, man, it takes two to tango. As you said, that fight is absolute guaranteed fireworks. So, yeah, I can't wait for it. I don't know if I'm going to be there now. TNT Sports, they're not flying us all out there to cover the event. I'm still going for the Power Slap, Ariel, and I'm still going for some other reasons as well. I got a bit of filming stuff to do, but yeah, UFC 303, man. That's the great thing about this sport and the UFC, right? And you can call me a company man or a bootlicker Bisping, right? Call me what you want, right?
Oh, I will. I already talked to ad sales about getting you a Timberland deal for these.
Let's go. It's unreal because, listen, it's not McGregor, but it's still bloody good. I mean, so the new card is Pereira versus Yuri, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. That's the co-main event. That's unreal. And then Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Carlos Ulberg. Not to mention, we've still got Ian Machado Gary versus Michael Page, Mayra Bueno Silva taking on Meisha Jasson, and that's your main card. Unreal. Ian Machado Gary versus Michael Page opening up the main card, and then we're off to the races. With Anthony Lionheart Smith going up against Carlos Ulberg. Harrington and Brian, if you don't want to show yourself, Brian, because I know you're in pain, but Harrington, talk to me about the fits of giggles and emotions and roaring that was going on in your house when you got that news.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shocker, right? Because it's like, he says Jamal's out, right? And I'm sitting there like, I immediately in my head, I'm going through the Rolodex of like, who's available at 205. I'm thinking maybe Ankalaev wants to get on the card because then, he gets a win there. It sets up the he's fighting the winner of whoever's in the main event, kind of like when they put Khabib on the McGregor MSG card, something like that. And as Dana's talking in this video, I'm just processing, like, I don't think it's going to be Anthony. There's no way it can be Anthony. And then it's like, Anthony Smith is stepping up on 2 weeks' notice. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Which goes against everything what he said on the podcast. He said, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not taking these fights on short notice. I've got to be smart with the end of my career because, what is he, 35, 36? Carlos Ulberg, though, man. Carlos Ulberg is not an easy test. He just fought, who was it he just beat in about 12 seconds? It was Alonzo Menafield, and it was 12 seconds. He's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak with 5 of those being finishes, 4 knockouts, 1 submission.